This lizard shoots blood from its eyes to escape predators. It's a real-life superpower, straight out of a comic book. So, why is it about to vanish forever? Around the world there's a league of extraordinary animals. They are nature's real-life X-Men, equipped with abilities that ought to make them invincible. One can literally come back from the dead. Another has a built-in suit of armor and a shocking secret weapon. And one possesses regenerative powers that would make Wolverine jealous. These creatures are masters of survival, armed with superpowers honed over millennia. Yet they're all facing a single, overwhelming threat they just can't seem to defeat. Today, we're going to meet some of the world's most incredible species and uncover the tragic irony of their fight for survival. Our first hero doesn't wear a cape. It's a small, unassuming amphibian from the forests of North America, the wood frog. Its superpower? It can survive being frozen solid. No, that's not an exaggeration. When winter comes, the wood frog doesn't burrow deep underground. It just nestles into the leaf litter, lets the ice creep in, and stops. Its heart stops beating. Its lungs stop breathing. Up to 2/3 of its body turns to solid ice. To any predator, it would look like a lifeless, frozen frog sickle. So, how does it pull off this death-defying trick? The secret is a kind of biological antifreeze. As temperatures drop, the frog's liver pumps huge amounts of glucose sugar, basically into its bloodstream. This sugary syrup protects its cells from being shredded by ice crystals. It's an incredible feat of biological engineering that lets the frog spend weeks being clinically dead. Then, when spring arrives, its heart flickers back to life. Its lungs take a breath, and it hops off to be one of the first to the breeding pools. You'd think a creature that can cheat death would be thriving. But while the wood frog isn't endangered everywhere, many of its populations are in steep decline or have vanished entirely. The forests it depends on are being carved up by roads and developments, isolating populations and destroying the temporary wetlands it needs to breed. Its ability to come back from the dead is useless if it has nowhere to come back to. Next, we head to the deserts of North America to meet a true maverick, the horned lizard. Affectionately known as the horny toad, this reptile looks like a miniature dinosaur, covered head to toe in sharp, intimidating spines. When a coyote or hawk gets too close, its first move is to puff up its body, making it a spiky, unappetizing mouthful. But if that doesn't work, it unleashes its signature move. The horned lizard can shoot a targeted stream of blood from the corners of its eyes, up to several feet away. By spiking the blood pressure in its head, it ruptures tiny vessels in its eyelids, launching a jet of blood laced with a foul-tasting chemical it gets from its diet of harvester ants. Imagine a predator swooping in for a meal, only to get a face full of nasty blood. It's a bizarre and shocking defense that usually gives the lizard just enough time to escape. But this blood-squirting, spiky marvel is in serious trouble. Across the continent, horned lizard populations have plummeted. Their decline is a death by 1,000 cuts. Massive habitat loss, the spread of invasive fire ants that wipe out their food source, and pesticide use. They are a protected species in many places now, but the question remains, how does a creature that can make predators flee in disgust protect itself from the silent creep of a disappearing world? Let's dive into the chilly coastal waters of the North Pacific. Here lives an animal with an appetite so ferocious it shapes the entire ecosystem, the sea otter. This is a keystone species, meaning its presence is so critical that without it, the whole environment collapses. Its superpower is being an accidental ecological superhero. Sea otters have the densest fur in the animal kingdom, but their real power is in what they eat. They devour about 25% of their body weight every day, and their favorite food is the sea urchin. In a healthy ecosystem, otters keep the urchin population in check. But if the otters disappear, the urchins multiply like crazy, forming vast urchin barrens that mow down entire kelp forests. These underwater forests are vital, providing shelter for thousands of species and absorbing huge amounts of CO2. So, just by eating lunch, the sea otter maintains a vibrant, healthy marine world. This guardian of the kelp was once hunted to the brink of extinction for its fur. While protections have allowed some populations to recover, they are far from safe, and the southern sea otter off California's coast remains endangered. Today, their biggest threats are human-caused. Oil spills are catastrophic, destroying the insulating properties of their fur and leading to hypothermia. Pollution, entanglement in fishing gear, and disease also pose major risks. The sea otter is a perfect example of an animal whose superpower is essential for the planet's health, yet it remains incredibly vulnerable to our actions. Deep in the canals near Mexico City lives a creature that seems to have leaped from the pages of science fiction, the axolotl. This perpetually smiling salamander has the ultimate superpower, regeneration. If an axolotl loses a limb, it doesn't just heal, it grows a perfect replacement. But it doesn't stop there. The axolotl can regenerate its spinal cord, its heart, and even parts of its brain. Scientists are fascinated by this ability, studying it for clues that could unlock new frontiers in human medicine. The axolotl is a biological marvel, a master of starting over. In the wild, this gives it a huge advantage for surviving attacks. But this seemingly invincible creature is critically endangered in its natural habitat, with estimates suggesting only 50 to 1,000 individuals are left. The threats are overwhelming. Sprawling urban development has led to catastrophic water pollution and the draining of its home. On top of that, invasive fish like carp and tilapia were introduced into the canals, where they prey on young axolotls and outcompete them for food. While axolotls are common in labs and as pets, the wild population is in a freefall. Their ability to regenerate any part of their body is useless against a home that is being systematically destroyed. Our final stop takes us to the African savanna, home to an icon of the continent, the giraffe. Its most obvious superpower is its incredible height, thanks to a neck that can be over 6 feet long. This allows it to browse for leaves high in the trees, far above the reach of any other competitor. Its tongue is just as impressive, a tough, prehensile tool that can navigate around sharp thorns to get the best leaves. With its camouflage and a high vantage point to spot predators, the giraffe is perfectly adapted to its environment. But this gentle giant is in the midst of a silent extinction. Over the past 30 years, giraffe populations have plummeted by nearly 40%. As a species, they are classified as vulnerable, but some subspecies are now critically endangered, having already vanished from at least 7 African countries. What could possibly threaten such a large animal? The answer, once again, is us. Habitat loss is the primary culprit. as farms and cities fragment their rangeland. Illegal poaching for meat and trophies also takes a heavy toll. The giraffe, an animal that literally stands head and shoulders above the rest, is slowly being erased from the landscape. From a frog that can freeze solid and revive, to a lizard that weaponizes its own blood, to a salamander that can rebuild itself from almost any injury, we've met some of the most astonishing creatures on Earth. Their powers should make them legends. But the tragic irony is that their incredible adaptations are no match for the threats we've created. Habitat loss, pollution, and a changing climate are enemies they can't outsmart on their own. You've just witnessed the real superheroes of our planet. Now, you can be theirs. The battle for their survival isn't hopeless. Organizations like the Giraffe Conservation Foundation, the Horned Lizard Conservation Society, and Sea Otter Savvy are on the front lines, working to protect these animals. A simple search for these groups or for amphibian and sea otter conservation projects will show you how to help. You don't have to be a biologist to make a difference. Supporting these groups, whether by donating or just sharing their message, provides vital resources for research, anti-poaching patrols, and habitat restoration. Your support can help ensure these superpowers don't vanish from the earth forever. The story of these animals is a powerful reminder that even the strongest among us are vulnerable. They are a testament to the wonder of the natural world, a world filled with abilities that defy imagination. But their story is also a warning. Their fate is tied directly to our actions. Let's choose to be the heroes they desperately need. Let's work to build a world where their incredible superpowers are not just a memory, but a living, breathing part of our planet for generations to come. The power to save them is the greatest superpower of all, and it's one we all share.